Have you heard the news? Your monthly check is about to change, and it's not just a small adjustment. It could be the difference between worrying about bills and finally having a little breathing room. This year's benefits increase is official, and millions of Americans are wondering what it really means for their wallets. If you rely on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA disability benefits, this news affects you directly. And today, I'll break it all down in plain language, so you understand exactly how much more you'll get, how it impacts your budget, and what hidden issues you need to prepare for. Let's start with the basics. More than 50 million Americans receive Social Security retirement benefits, and this group will see the most direct impact. These are hardworking people who paid into the system their entire lives. Alongside them, around 9 million Americans depend on SSDI, or Social Security disability insurance, because health conditions prevent them from working. Add to that the 7.4 million people receiving SSI, supplemental security income, and more than 5 million veterans relying on VA disability benefits. Together, this covers nearly every family in America. If you or someone you love depends on these payments, pay close attention. The Social Security Administration has announced a 2.5% increase for 2025. Now, 2.5% might not sound like much, but let's talk about actual dollars because that's what matters in your daily life. The average Social Security retirement benefit is about $1,927 a month. With a 2.5% increase, that's an extra $48 each month or $576 over the course of a year. For those receiving the maximum benefit, which is around $4,873 monthly, this means about $122 more each month, adding up to $1,464 more per year. That's not pocket change. It's real money that can cover groceries, bills, or medicine. For SSDI recipients, the average monthly benefit is $1,537. After this 2.5% increase, that's about $38 more each month or $456 for the year. It may not sound huge, but for someone living on a fixed income, every dollar counts. SSI payments work a bit differently since they're set at federal amounts. For individuals, the monthly check will rise from $943 to $967, a $24 increase. For couples, payments will go from $1,415 to $1,450, which means $35 more each month. These changes may seem small, but they can add up over time and make life just a little bit easier. Now, let's look at veterans' benefits. If you're a veteran receiving disability compensation, your monthly check is also increasing. For someone with a 100% disability rating, the payment rises from $3,737 to $3,831. That's $94 more every single month. Even at a 30% disability rating, veterans will see their compensation rise from $524 to $537 monthly. These are automatic adjustments, meaning you don't have to fill out paperwork or apply. If you're already receiving these benefits, the higher payments will just show up in your account. That's one less thing to worry about in a world that already feels full of stress. These increases are based on the Consumer Price Index, which tracks inflation. The idea is simple. Benefits need to rise so people don't lose their purchasing power when prices go up. But here's the problem. Costs that hit seniors the hardest, like housing, healthcare, and prescription drugs, often rise much faster than general inflation. That means a 2.5% boost might not fully cover the real increases you face every year. Still, without these annual adjustments, your standard of living would drop even more sharply. So while it's not perfect, it's a protection that makes a difference. Another piece of good news is Medicare. In 2025, the standard Medicare Part B premium is rising, but only slightly from $174.70 to $185 per month. While that's an increase, it's considered modest compared to what some feared. This means more of your Social Security increase will stay in your pocket instead of being swallowed by higher medical premiums. For seniors and disabled individuals on tight budgets, this is a relief. It means that your monthly raise isn't entirely canceled out by Medicare costs. Even a small cushion can provide peace of mind when balancing rent, medication, and utility bills. Let's not forget the real human side of these numbers. I spoke with Maria, a 62-year-old on SSDI, after a car accident left her unable to work. She said her increase means she can finally afford fresh vegetables instead of only buying canned food. Robert, a 72-year-old veteran, uses his VA benefits to help raise his granddaughter while his daughter rebuilds her life. His extra $94 a month means he can cover her after-school program. And then there's Janet, who cares for her adult son with disabilities. The SSI increase allows her to take him to a movie each month, something that brings joy to both. But let's be honest, there are challenges too. One of the biggest issues is something called the benefits cliff. That's when even a small increase in your income pushes you over the limit for other programs like food stamps or housing assistance. Imagine gaining $35 more in SSI, but losing $100 worth of SNAP benefits because you no longer qualify. It doesn't feel fair, but it's a reality many face. That's why planning ahead is so important. You need to understand how these increases interact with other forms of help you might be receiving. Another challenge is the speed at which expenses are rising. While benefits are going up by 2.5%, the cost of housing in many cities is rising far faster. Medical bills and prescription drug prices also continue to climb beyond that rate. This means the increase helps, but it doesn't solve everything. It buys some breathing room, not total relief. For many, the increase will cover maybe one utility bill, a week's worth of groceries, or a small medical copay. That's important, but it also highlights why staying informed and accessing every program available is essential for seniors and families. There's also the matter of taxes. Did you know Social Security benefits can be taxable? If your combined income is between $25,000 and $34,000 as an individual, you may owe taxes on up to half your benefits. If it's above $34,000, as much as 85% could be taxed. For married couples, the thresholds are $32,000 and $44,000. These limits haven't been adjusted for inflation in decades. So, every year, more seniors end up paying taxes on their benefits even though their buying power hasn't increased. It's frustrating, but it's something you need to plan for. So, what should you actually do with this information? First, sit down and calculate your new benefit amount. Even if it's only $30 or $50 more per month, assign that money a job right now. Decide whether it will go toward paying off debt, saving for emergencies, or covering a specific bill. If you don't plan for it, that money can disappear without making a real difference. Second, talk to a benefits counselor, especially if you receive SSI or other need-based help. Free state programs can help you see how this increase affects your eligibility for other services. Third, review your benefits as a whole. Many people are eligible for programs they don't even know about. SNAP, Medicaid, housing vouchers, and utility assistance can stretch your dollars further. Don't assume you don't qualify. Rules change often, and you may be leaving money on the table. Fourth, consider building or adding to an emergency fund, even if it's just $10 or $20 a month. Having even a small cushion can be the difference between stress and stability when something unexpected happens. A broken appliance, a medical bill, or even higher utility costs can be handled more easily with a little savings. It's important to remember that a 2.5% increase is not a magic solution. It will not erase all the financial struggles many on fixed incomes face. But it can provide something invaluable: breathing room. That small increase could mean not having to choose between medicine and groceries. It could mean helping a grandchild with school supplies or being able to enjoy a simple treat like dinner out once a month. These small improvements can bring real dignity and peace of mind, which is often just as important as the dollars themselves. Sometimes a little relief makes all the difference. I want you to think of this increase as part of a bigger financial picture. Don't look at it in isolation. Combine it with other assistance, careful budgeting, and smart planning. These steps together can improve your life more than you think. For example, one extra $40 a month, saved consistently, could build into hundreds over a year. That savings might allow you to replace an appliance without debt or cover a medical emergency. When you use every resource available, benefits, assistance programs, and your own planning, the results multiply over time into meaningful financial stability. And remember, these increases don't just affect numbers, they affect people. Behind every statistic is a real person making tough choices. Some of you watching may be like Maria, Robert, or Janet, just trying to keep going day by day while supporting loved ones. You're not alone. Millions of Americans are walking the same path. The more we talk openly about benefits and financial planning, the stronger we all become. Knowledge isn't just power, it's a lifeline. That's why these conversations are so important and why you should share this video with friends, neighbors, and family members. So let's recap. Social Security retirement, SSDI, SSI, and VA disability benefits are all increasing by about 2.5% in 2025. This means extra dollars in your pocket, sometimes $20, sometimes over $100 a month, depending on your situation. Medicare premiums are rising slightly, but not enough to wipe out your raise. The good news is these increases happen automatically. The challenges include benefits cliffs, rising living costs, and potential taxes. But by planning ahead, checking eligibility for other programs, and budgeting carefully, you can make the most of these changes and improve your financial security step by step.